5 True Scary Stories. Number 1. The Tinder Trap. Ever thought about trying online dating? After this story, you might think twice. It was 2018, and our unlucky protagonist decided to give Tinder a shot. He matched with a pretty girl, and they hit it off. They exchanged numbers, Snapchats, and the works. Everything seemed legit. They planned to meet up at her place. Red flag number 1, she lived in a city 30 miles away. But our guy ignored his gut feeling and drove over anyway. As he's cruising down dark country roads at midnight, she calls and changes the meeting spot. Red flag number 2, waving frantically in the wind. But does he turn back? Nope. He follows her directions down a dirt road surrounded by cornfields. In the middle of nowhere, he comes across a broken-down old house. Alarm bells are ringing, but he's already committed. He calls her to say he's arrived. And then, horror movie style, a figure emerges from the house. But it's not the pretty girl from the profile pics. It's someone dressed like a freaking nun, complete with a voodoo doll. Before he can process this, another figure in black appears, wielding a machete and charging at his car. Our guy floors it out of there, hearing a gunshot behind him as he speeds away. Number 2. Playground Predator. A mom takes her 5-year-old son and 3-month-old daughter to a playground. It's a normal day, kids playing, moms chatting. But things take a creepy turn when her son wanders off with an older boy. This 10 to 12-year-old kid had asked the mom if he could play with her son. Weird, but she didn't think much of it. Big mistake. Later, she notices they're gone. She spots them walking towards some trees, way too far from the playground. As she runs over, she sees the older boy grab her son's arm, trying to pull him away. Turns out, this kid had told her son he knew where a famous YouTuber lived and wanted to take him there. Talk about stranger danger. The truly unsettling part? This boy wasn't with any adults at the park. He'd been lying to other parents too, pretending to know their kids. Was he working alone, or was an adult putting him up to this? We'll never know, but it's chilling to think about. Number 3. The Peeping Tom Next Door. Moving into a new place is exciting, right? Well, this young couple's apartment dreams quickly turned into a nightmare. They thought they'd found a decent spot, gated community, extra security. What could go wrong? Enter the neighbor from hell. This guy starts yelling at them for everything. Watering plants? Too noisy. Eating on their balcony? Blocking his sunlight. The sound of their silverware? Apparently unbearable. But the real horror show begins when the boyfriend catches this creep filming them through their window. Gross, right? They call the cops, but without solid proof, not much happens. So they decide to catch him in the act. Smart move. With help from another neighbor, they finally get enough evidence for a search warrant. And boy, what the police find is disturbing. This perv had been secretly recording them for months. Footage of them eating, napping, changing clothes, you name it. Talk about an invasion of privacy. Thankfully, the creep faced consequences. But imagine how violated that couple must have felt. Always be aware of your surroundings, even at home. Number 4. The Online Predator. Our next tale takes us to Scotland for a chilling story of online deception. It starts innocently enough. 2 teenage cousins, both 14, are chatting with a supposed 15-year-old boy online. He seems nice, sends them gifts. But his story keeps changing. First, he's 16. Then 21. One cousin meets him and immediately cuts contact. Red flag city, right there. But our other cousin keeps talking to him. Big mistake. When they finally meet in person, she's in for a shock. This isn't a cute teenage boy. It's a burned, scarred man in his 50s or 60s. The girls manage to escape, but the nightmare doesn't end there. This creep stalks them for years. He shows up in their town, leaves money at their hotel, even buys one of them a car. Number 5. The Stalker Classmate. Our final story shows how a harmless crush can turn into something sinister. It starts in freshman year. A girl starts a video club and meets a shy guy named John. At first, he seems harmless enough, just socially awkward. But things take a dark turn. John becomes obsessed, following her to classes, bombarding her with messages. When she tries to distance herself, he leaves her hateful notes, blaming her for his depression. It gets worse. He manipulates their mutual friends, turning them against her. He asks her to prom even after all this drama. The audacity, right? The whole ordeal culminates in physical violence. On the last day of school, John shoves her into a wall, calling her trash before walking away. This story is a textbook case of stalking and harassment. It's a reminder that no means no, and nobody owes you their time or affection. That's all for today's dose of real-life terror. If these stories gave you chills, hit that like button and subscribe for more creepy content.